I want you to try something right now. Just sit here. Don't touch your phone. Don't open another tab. Just exist for 10 seconds. Uncomfortable, right? That little itch, that weird pull toward your pocket. That's not you being impatient. That's something that was done to you. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly who did it, how they did it, and what it's costing you in ways you can't even see yet. I want to tell you about a guy named BJ Fogg. You've probably never heard of him, but he runs a lab at Stanford called the Persuasive Technology Lab, and he spent 20 years figuring out one single thing. How do you make humans do things they didn't plan to do? His students went on to build Facebook's news feed, Instagram's notification system, Snapchat streaks. One of his students once said, and I'm quoting this directly, "I'm not proud of what I helped create." But here's what nobody's really talking about. It's not just your habits that changed. Something physical happened inside your brain, and once you understand it, you can't unsee it. But first, I need to show you the number that started all of this. In 2004, Microsoft Canada ran a study on human attention spans. The average? 12 seconds. They ran it again in 2015. 8 seconds. Goldfish? 9 seconds. You are now statistically less focused than a creature that forgets its own tank. But here's the thing, and I really need you to hear this. That attention span number is almost irrelevant. It's a distraction from what's actually happening underneath. The real damage is going somewhere much deeper, in a part of your brain most people have never even heard of. We'll get there. But first, I want to show you a study that genuinely disturbed me when I first read it. University of Texas, 2017. Researchers took 800 people and split them into 3 groups. Group 1, phone in another room. Group 2, phone face down on the desk. Group 3, phone in their pocket. Then they gave everyone cognitive tests. Memory, problem solving, focus. Every single metric, every one, was highest in the group whose phone was in another room. But here's what broke my brain. The phones in groups 2 and 3 were face down. Silent. Nobody was using them. They were just nearby, and that was enough to drain measurable brain power. The researchers called it the brain drain effect. Your mind is quietly, constantly spending energy just fighting the urge to check something that isn't even on, which means you have never, not once in recent memory, been thinking at full capacity. Not at work, not in conversation, not right now, watching this. And that brings me to the part of your brain that's actually changing. There's a concept in neuroscience called neuroplasticity. Your brain physically rewires itself based on what you do repeatedly. Use a pathway, it gets stronger. Ignore it. Your brain prunes it away. Think of it like a forest path. Walk it every day and it stays clear. Abandon it for a year and it's gone, swallowed back into the trees. Every time you switch apps out of boredom, every time you grab your phone the second silence hits, you are walking one path and letting another one die. The path you're killing? Deep focus, sustained thought, creative boredom. And here's the dark part. Boredom isn't emptiness. Neuroscientists now know it's actually where your best thinking happens. It activates something called the default mode network, your brain's background processor, where ideas connect, where memories form, where you figure out who you actually are. Every time you grab your phone to kill boredom, you're killing that process. But it gets worse, because everything I just described, that's only the thinking side. There's an emotional side to this that nobody is talking about. And honestly, it's the reason I think this is more serious than most people realize. I want to tell you about a summer camp. A group of 6th graders. No phones, no tablets, no screens of any kind. 5 days. Before they left, researchers tested their ability to read human emotion. Standard empathy assessments. 5 days later, they tested them again. The kids got significantly better at reading other people's emotions. Now sit with the opposite question. What is happening to people who spend years looking at screens instead of faces? I need to clear up something about dopamine that most people have backwards. It's not a reward chemical. Dopamine isn't released when you get the reward. It's released in anticipation of it, the chase, which is exactly why scrolling is so perfectly designed to hijack it. Every swipe down, Unknown. Your brain maintains a dopamine baseline. Flood it artificially, and the brain compensates by lowering that baseline. And suddenly, real life doesn't hit the same. A walk outside, a book, flat, muted. This is the mechanism behind brain rot. A measurable shift where ordinary life can no longer compete. Life can no longer compete with the dopamine engineered by a trillion-dollar industry. You learn to read people by looking at people, by sitting in silence with them, by being bored together. Heavy screen users spend up to 9 hours a day consuming content. That's 9 hours of faces on screens. Studies are flagging declining empathy scores and social anxiety in people who grew up on smartphones. We are becoming people who are fluent in digital interaction and emotionally clumsy in human ones. Is any of this reversible? Yes. A 2022 study had people cut social media to 30 minutes a day for 3 weeks. Significant drops in anxiety and depression. Measurable improvements in well-being. 21 days. Neuroplasticity works both directions. The same brain that rewired toward distraction can rewire back toward depth. Distance beats discipline. Phone in another room beat phone on the desk, every single time. You don't beat engineered compulsion with character. You beat it with friction. This isn't an addiction problem. It's a consent problem. Nobody asked you if you wanted your attention rewired. Nobody told you the notification sound was tested to trigger the same neural response as a slot machine. That itch to check your phone. That wasn't weakness. That was engineering. Now what are you going to do? If this video made you think, share it. If you want the practical side to rebuild your attention, that's next. We cover what actually matters about how your mind works. Subscribe. See you in the next one.